So I'm just killing time. Woke up, don't feel like bathing or opening the shades. um, been writing a lot this last year. It's been good. It's been really good. I wrote a lot before that. For years. I mean, since like the fourth grade, when I wrote raps with my friend Tislam. We used to write raps about President Reagan. We had something that rhymed with Gipper. Probably Tipper. I don't know. Anyway, wrote a lot of plays. Sent them to a million places. Never got anything produced or published since the one piece of published writing that I've gotten paid for. Well, I've gotten a few things published. Newspaper articles and an article in Counterpunch. But the only thing I've ever gotten paid to write was something I wrote in high school. I got published in a literary magazine and got paid like $150, I think, senior year. Only won second place in the school contest, but I got paid, and I actually was someone who got my story published. And I've been doing a lot of other work. I've been doing software work for about a decade, which I'm tired of doing. I hope I don't have to do that anymore. I like that work, the work part of it, but I don't like office small talk. I don't like being around lopsided people. I mean, I just don't like being around people who are straight up 100% engineers. They don't do anything else. They, have subjugated the rest of their personality or whatever. I can't do it. It's too much train spotting for me. It's too much geek small talk. I'm a geek too. Like, I love, I'll read a frickin' RFC of some technology that I'm using, or, read, a programming manual multiple times because I want to really, really, truly understand the language. But I don't know. I hope I don't have to do that anymore. I hope I can get a book published. I get these great comments on autonomy about my book, and but I have so many rejection letters. Like I see people on Twitter who, and I'm not judging or comparing, but I'm just saying, I'm thinking about different parts of the cycle of submitting your stuff to literary agents. And I remember the first time that I did that, it was exciting, and I, got special paper and, all this stuff. This is back before email submissions were common or even happened at all. And I just don't look at it the same way as I used to. I think it's bullshit now. I honestly don't even think most of these literary agents are reading what they get, which I understand, because they probably got a fucking shitload of mail, but I don't know. So, I have sympathy for their part of the whole thing. That's got to be a hard job. And they have a different set of requirements than the reader does, or than the writer does. The kind of the double part of the double bind of publishing's agent publisher middle business layer, you got your writer, you got your agent, you got your publisher, you got your reader, and probably some other people there in the middle that I don't know about. But part of the problem with that, I think, with that double bind in the middle is that between agent and publisher, they're trying to never mess up, um, which is bad. That's actually really bad when you're trying to solve a problem. If you're trying to find an optimal solution to something, you need to be able to mess up. You need to be able to play, and they need to, and to do that, you have to lower the cost of failure. So instead of defining success as a book that sells 400 million copies and failure as a book that sells any book that sells less than a million, there need to be middle areas where you can, with a low amount of cost, publish and promote to a small degree a book that maybe it sells 10,000 copies and you decide you're not going to spend any more money on it. But you don't consider that failure. You consider that part of your productive process. I think that would be better. I don't know if it'll happen technologically with internet, electronic reader stuff or what. And if I wasn't focused on writing, I'd try to take some of my programming abilities and address that. Autonomy frustrates me because really getting your book to the top on autonomy has a lot to do with just reviewing a bunch of other people's books. You've got to be online all the time. It's not really about your book. It's about how good of a reviewer you are, which is awesome. I've benefited from the reviews that I've gotten on there. I'm very thankful for people who have taken the time to read what I've written and to make detailed comments. I haven't done that as much because I spend my time writing, frankly. Not that those people don't. Maybe I'm just more selfish. I don't know. I just don't want to have to work. I don't think about it like I want to be a writer anymore. That whole discussion of like when do you call yourself a writer is not something that I'm interested in anymore, because I think that there's so many different ways to answer that question. I prefer the if you're writing something, you're a writer definition, and the what you are to other people is their business, not yours definition. I'm not worried about that. Like I don't think of myself that way, but I'm clearly a writer. I've written multiple books, multiple plays. I have some published minor things, and I know that I'm writing at a level that's high, and that's where I can write right now, and that's high enough. I think it's a high enough level of writing to get published. I'm writing stuff I would want to read. But clearly there's a disconnect because I was looking at of course, Twilight has sold tons of copies and my books have sold no copies, but if ever my books do sell, I'll have a story to tell, which is that, Wikipedia Twilight page talks about how the author received 14 rejections from agents. It was rejected by 14 agents before finally being published. I've been rejected by hundreds of agents, and that may mean that, or it may not. I'm not saying that it will mean this, but it may be that I never get my books published. Maybe no one wants to read what I have to write. That's a possibility. I'm okay with that. I like writing, and I just like the act of it, actually. But I think probably what's going on is just a disconnect wherein someday my books will sell, maybe not J.K. Rowling level of marketability, but I think that probably will sell a lot. I think I'm just not there yet.